It's 3 a.m. You're thinking about a movie scene you've seen a dozen times. Someone bundled up in thick fur, standing outside a hut built entirely out of ice. And it never made sense. It's freezing outside. The material is literally ice. So how does going inside a house made of ice make you warmer? Sounds backwards. It's not a movie trick either. These houses are real, and people have been living in them for thousands of years.
Welcome back to StickHead. Let's actually figure this out. Before we go further, a quick, respectful note. These structures are built by the Inuit, the indigenous people of the Arctic regions. Eskimo is a term many Inuit consider outdated and prefer not to be called. Inuit simply means the people in their own language, so that's the term we'll use here. The Inuit have lived across some of the most extreme environments on Earth, coastal North America up through northeastern Siberia, for thousands of years, adapted completely to a landscape with no cities, no traditional building materials, and winter temperatures that regularly drop to minus 50 degrees Celsius. Anyone living somewhere that cold needs solid, reliable shelter. Normally, that means brick, metal, or timber. The Arctic has none of that. Trees are basically non-existent that far north. So for thousands of years, the Inuit built their shelters, known as igloos, from the one material that was actually abundant: snow. Which brings us to the real question. How does a house made of snow keep you warm? To understand this, we need a quick detour to a sea otter. Sea otters live in cold ocean water constantly, but they don't have thick blubber like seals or whales to insulate them. Instead, they rely on something stranger: air. A sea otter's fur is incredibly dense, and each strand is shaped in a way that traps tiny air pockets close to its skin. Air happens to be an excellent thermal insulator, so that trapped layer of air stops heat from escaping the otter's body, keeping it warm, even in freezing water. So what does a sea otter have to do with an igloo? Simple. Air is a great insulator, and that principle is exactly what makes igloo construction work. The Inuit have deep, specific knowledge of snow. Their language reportedly includes dozens of distinct words describing different snow types and conditions, because it's the material they understand better than almost anyone. For igloo building specifically, they use a type of snow known as wind-packed snow. Snow that's roughly 10% frozen water and 90% trapped air, compressed into solid layers by wind on the ground.
This type of snow is ideal for two reasons. It's solid enough to hold structural weight, and it's packed with trapped air, meaning it acts as a natural insulator, just like the otter's fur. Because of that trapped air, the walls of an igloo function almost like a thermos. Heat generated inside doesn't easily escape through them. But there's a second clever design detail. Igloos aren't built as one flat, level space. The interior is carved into different tiers. The entrance sits at the lowest point. A second, slightly raised level is used for cooking and daily tasks. And the highest level, the warmest spot, is where people actually sleep.
That layout isn't random. Hot air naturally rises, since it's lighter, while cold air sinks and settles low. So any heat generated inside, whether from a fire or simply from people's own body heat, rises and collects around the highest platform, right where everyone sleeps. Combine that rising heat effect with insulating walls that trap the warmth inside, and you get an interior that can reach 10 to 15 degrees Celsius, while it's minus 50 outside. Still cold by most standards, but compared to the outside air, that's an enormous difference.
An experienced builder can construct a small solo igloo in about 3 hours. A larger one, big enough for a full family, can take 2 days or more. And here's the genuinely impressive part. Despite every advance in modern architecture, nobody has really found a better way to build one. The traditional spiral construction method,
building upward and inward in a continuous dome shape, creates an incredibly stable structure with no wasted space or weak edges. Anyone with structural engineering knowledge will recognize why. A dome shape distributes vertical force evenly, converting it into horizontal pressure that spreads down into the ground, which is exactly what makes the structure stable and resistant to heavy wind and storms. So, the next time you see someone standing outside a house made of ice in a movie, know this. Going inside isn't backwards at all. It's trapped air acting as insulation, smart tiered design using rising heat, and a dome shape that's honestly hard to improve on, all working together using nothing but snow. That's one question down. Got something bugging you at 3 a.m.? Drop it in the comments. Might be next episode. I'm StikHead. See you at 3 a.m.